squad. Woo! Woo! Yeah, get into it. Welcome up. Good evening, team. I hope you are all well. You absolute bunch of legends, guys. It's probably going to be relatively short and sweet for me. Hopefully my phone doesn't like blow up and die like it did last week. Yes, guys, probably not going to be a major one tonight. Like I say, if anyone does come on and rewatch this, please do like. If you've got any questions, then do ask questions as well. But if you are watching it after this as well, then please do put hashtag replay. So I know you watched it as well, guys. So, yes, what I'm going to be talking, or I'm going to touch on this evening, to be fair, is to do with in-session recovery, essentially, and kind of what we've been doing over the past. Give you a bit of an insight of the sessions that we've been doing more so recently, but also how for you guys to get... got something in my tooth, it's doing my head. It's doing my head, I can feel it. I can feel it in there. Yeah, so, and what we can do to kind of get the best out of it as well. So, this is kind of more so to do with your main lifts. Well, to be fair, a lot of lifts that we do are quite global lifts, essentially. But you're looking to make sure you're getting enough recovery in within the session itself, so you are able to recover and get the best out of it. Now, there is research out there that does suggest that to get the best out of your strength training in particular, that you should be taking longer rest periods. Or if you do have shorter rest periods, what we should be doing, and we kind of did a phase of this as well, is working for longer sets or doing more sets in there. So like we did with the phase with the every minute on the minutes for like 10 to 15 rounds. That was one of the main reasons why we did more rounds in there, because we had short rest periods, just to kind of mix up a little bit, increase that intensity in there as well. Not that any major weights that are kind of going to absolutely kill anyone off, but at the same time, still relatively challenging in the grand scheme of things. Now, in terms of when it comes to the strength type stuff, then what we should be looking at doing is trying to get around 90 seconds to a minute, 150 seconds base. So anything from like a minute and a half to up to 2.5 minutes rest between kind of your major lifts, unless there are filler type exercise in there, essentially. So what I mean by that is like your squat type movements with like a band pull apart, or like recently as well, especially in the strength group at the moment, or the online people, we've been doing the squats with your rack pull-ups. Now, when we kind of set a timer for AMRAPs, or as many rounds as possible, you should be able to get 3 to 4 work sets in there. Now, when I say work sets, I mean sets at the heaviest weight you're going to be working at, essentially. The first couple of minutes you'll be looking, first 2-3 minutes you'll be looking at kind of increase and getting your warm-ups in there, essentially, with that one, whatever that may be, whatever weights you're kind of working at with that. And the latter part of that should be focusing on your heavier sets. So just something to take into consideration, and this is for everyone, to be fair, more so than anything else. When we do AMRAPs, don't think that you have to smash it out and rush through those exercises, guys. Okay, quality is better than quantity when working. So one thing I don't want you guys to do is think, shit, I've got to go from one exercise to the next exercise to the next exercise and back in there. When you need a rest and a breather, then do take it. What I've started doing recently, and I will be doing it from the next phase in particular, is putting more specific. I'm going to shorten the warm-up down more so it allows us to focus on just the main exercise, just the first main lift that we're going to be doing within that session. So say, for example, it is a squat. The warm will be based around increasing heart rate and just your squat movement. So it might be literally 3 exercises, but reducing that time right down. Hence, at the moment, we've been doing the 3 lots of 2 minutes work, essentially. But I'm going to try and fine-tune that as much as possible as well. And then when we're doing the main lift, so we're kind of getting a little bit of movement in there, so you still feel as though you're doing something, we'll be kind of setting us up for the next part of that session. So it's kind of like a warm-up within the main aspect of the session, or kind of a movement prep with your main lift for the next set of exercises that we're going to be doing. So it still allows you to get that recovery in there, but not necessarily kind of overwhelm you. Now, I've mentioned a few times recently about peripheral fatigue and also central fatigue. Now, peripheral fatigue is kind of looking at your kind of distal muscles. So basically the extremities, so like your legs, glutes to a degree, your arms, type of exercise that are kind of isolated as such, although a lot of exercises aren't necessarily isolated because we do like your squat, floor deadlift type, floor presses and deadlift type movements and push-up type movements as well. So it's very hard. You'll get some form of central fatigue. But peripheral fatigue is something that we want to build within the session, but we also want to recover within the session as well, just so we're getting enough stimulus in the muscles to create change, to allow them to kind of get the muscle damage we need so they can recover to become stronger, essentially. But what we want to try and stay away from as much as possible is central fatigue. So this is where when your central nervous system takes hit. Yes, towards the end of a session, you're always going to get that to a degree anyway, because we tend to do whole body sessions, or even if you've worked a lower body type session, or predominantly lower body or predominantly upper body bias type session, you're going to get that to a degree anyway because you've done X amount of exercise or X amount of reps, and that's absolutely fine. But what we are looking to do is build up the peripheral fatigue and not necessarily try and push yourself too much where after the first section of a session, there's nothing left to offer, or you're completely gassed, okay? Yeah, you'll be tired, but not to the point where you're thinking, fucking hell, I've got nothing left to offer. That's not what we're aiming to do, guys, okay? We're aiming to get some stimulus, get some squats in there, get some reps in there as well. So as I've said in previous videos, especially the reps in reserve video, we always should be working within kind of a 0 to 4 or 0 to 5 reps in reserve at the end of each set, unless we add an AMRAP in there to failure, or a specific RIRs or reps in reserve within an actual set itself. Now there's only PJ, I think, who's actually doing that, where I've actually specifically set, and actually in the Monday session as well, and the Wednesday session, actually it's a complete lie, I put it in a few sessions to be honest with you, but they are pretty much the last movement or last exercise of that specific muscle group that you're working. So I think on Mondays we do the rows where you're going all out, and then on the Wednesday it's the last exercise is your hybrid drop sets with a push-up. So you're going from hardest variation of your push-up to the easiest variation of the push-up to go to failure, but there's nothing left after that, to be fair. So it's okay to kind of go to peripheral and central fatigue for that one. But at the start of the session, guys, take your time. In terms of the blocks in which we're working with, 3 to 4 sets is more than doable in terms of the stimulus that we need to get to kind of help you guys get stronger or help you work towards your goals. If we ever need longer than that, I will always give it. I'll always let you know during the sessions. But the timer, to be fair, is for me to be able to manage the session more so than anything else. As you've heard me say before, if you have a exercise to do, or if you've got a rep that you need to do, or another set that you need to do, then get it in. I can always add 30 seconds to a minute on there. One thing I don't want you to feel, this is more so for people who train in with me. If you're on your own, train on your own. Sometimes it's worth asking yourself if you want to get an extra set in. If you're feeling quite good, now I want you to take this in your own hand, guys, to be fair as well, even if you are training in the sessions with me. If you're feeling quite good in a session, and say, for example, the timer has gone, and you're thinking, oh, I feel like I can fucking get another set in. Just say it to me, can I get another set in? I ain't going to say no. Okay, or it's very rare, 9 times out of 10 I'll say no. Someone asks me and I bet you'll say no next time. No, you can't do that. You're not allowed to get stronger. But then that's absolutely fine. If you're feeling fresh, then sometimes it's worthwhile using that freshness to get it, because you're not always going to feel that way within the sessions, unfortunately, because that's just kind of the way it goes with that one. So, key takeaway from this, guys, is, especially with your main lifts, so we are looking to ensure that we're getting enough rest in the sessions. So you are between exercises to ensure that you're getting high quality in terms of your movements. Now, again, referring back to the RIR live that I did a few weeks back, imagine, in terms of quality of movement, think about movement in treacle, okay? when you're on the way down, you should be able to stop at any point. If you are finding exercise too easy, slow the movement down before you think about adding weight, because again, that's the easiest way to manipulate a movement to be able to get stronger. Now, there's a few of you who can't actually increase your weight, so by adding the tempo window or adding a pause at the bottom of a movement or adding the 1 1/4 movement, which was what we've done in this phase as well, is a perfect way to doing that, guys. Okay, and it's okay to take a little bit longer of a rest period to kind of do it. And one thing that you'll take note of as well is what I have done to help with that recovery and to help with that rest is splitting up legs with an exercise in between as well. So I think one session we've got a rear foot elevated split squat with, what's the other exercise? I can't remember what it is. But say, for example, it's with a, what is it? What do you do with rear foot elevated split squat? It's on the Monday session, isn't it? That's going to kill me, that is. I should know this. Anyway, it's another exercise in the rear foot elevated split squat with, this is for those with the kettlebells, rear foot elevated split squat with an exercise, then with the rear foot elevated split squat on the opposite leg as well. Just giving you enough time to have that rest so you're feeling a little bit fresher with that one, guys. Okay, team? So, what I want to focus on, guys, is inter-session recovery. Okay? Don't feel you have to rush through the exercise. Okay, guys? There's always enough time to get 3 or 4 sets in there. If you find at the end of a time that sometimes I'll do an every minute on the minute, so it's kind of controlled for you. But when it's an AMRAP in particular, if you are feeling fresh at the end of a round, for example, or feeling fresh at the end of a AMRAP, so say, for example, in the 10th minute or 12th minute or 15th minute, whatever it is, you want to do another set, sometimes just ask the question, can I get another set and I'm feeling quite good? I'm never going to stop you from doing that, guys. Okay, team? There's nothing wrong with doing that, guys. Okay, squad? And yeah, and that's pretty much all for me, guys, to be fair. Like I said, it was always going to be a short and sweet one today. All thing I would say is, guys, as well, on your days off from training, just make sure you're getting recovery in there. You don't need to be training 7 days a week. Your body still needs time to adapt, still needs time to recover. It's like when you go on holiday. You can work. It's probably unlike that everyone has worked for 12 months solid for a full year. It's very unlikely that anyone's doing it. Even I don't do that, to be fair, guys. Like I say, I think probably what you'll notice is a week around Christmas time, I'll take it off because I just need to switch off, to be fair, as well. So it's kind of the same concept, to be fair. You need to have that time, like you do that mental kind of breakaway. Your body's exactly the same thing. It needs time away from exercise. Yeah, you can still move and do some light stuff, but in terms of high intensity stuff, it needs to recover. Because what you'll find is, it will start building stresses that your body's already got from day-to-day life, and it just doesn't help, to be fair, as well. So you'll know when you get there, guys, when you're starting to feel tired, sluggish and whatnot, then sometimes it's worthwhile taking that time. But don't let it affect the sessions we're having, because they're probably your more structured sessions, essentially, as well. So something to take into consideration out the sessions, guys, okay? And in terms of sleep, we should always be looking to hit 7 to 9 hours, if possible, as close to that as we possibly can. Now, there are ways around that. I'm not a sleep therapist, unfortunately. But yes, something to consider with that one, team. Okay, guys? But yes, that is all from me this evening, guys. I am very, very aware that England are playing in the next 45 minutes, so I'm going to get ready for that, guys. So yes, if you do jump on this one and watch it later, please do like it, and please do a hashtag replay as well, guys. And that is all from me today, team. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. If I don't see you, otherwise, peace out. A-Town down.